What if you could slide into 1,000 different worlds where it's the same year and you're the same person, but everything else is different? And what if you can't find your way home? Well, Robert Jeffries and I found the gateway. Now the problem is finding a way back home. This is Stumbling Through the Multiverse, a Sliders recap with Rain Coleman and Robert Jeffries II. What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the official Sliders podcast. Now, I say official because nobody's going to challenge me. Anybody who has an official Sliders podcast can come see me because I think this is the most official. I am Rain Coleman, your co-slider in arms, and I'm happy to be here discussing a two-part episode that is quite interesting. Yeah. Robert, how are you?
I'm doing good. This is a very special Sliders episode. And I've been waiting. I personally have been waiting for you to watch this sad episode for a minute. As I said before, for a couple of other episodes, this is huge in the Sliders lore, both behind on screen and behind the scenes.
Okay.
I will give you homework to say now you can do some research about this episode in particular and to learn about the really horrible behind the scenes shenanigans that happened. So this episode is so special. This two-parter is that we brought back some guests from previously, John McGuire and Egg Embry, who we had, I keep calling it the Corey Feldman episode from this season. So welcome back, the creative minds behind In Our Dreams Awake. So thank y'all for coming back.
Thanks for having us.
Of course.
Yep. Happy to have you all.
I'm glad John made a good impression, so we get to return.
Is that what it was?
Now, you know he wasn't the only one.
I do what I can.
Good deal. I mean, Robert, are we throwing it to initial thoughts or what?
We can do the initial thoughts. Let's start with our guest. I mean, the way that I see the order is John, Egg, myself, and then okay. So let's start with John. What are your initial thoughts with of the Exodus Part 1?
I obviously knew what was coming from having watched some of this back in the day, but I don't think I've actually watched these episodes since maybe they originally aired.
Wow.
So it was a little bit of when is this happening? When, all that good stuff. I enjoyed the first part of the episode. And we can get into this, I'm sure, but my only real complaint is, I have two complaints. I'll save one for later. My only big complaint is the moment when they realize the timer's not going to go off until after the pulsars hit and basically they're hosed. The reactions of our group is so muted. And I get it. Listen, they've been doing this for 3 years. Yeah. They've had plenty of times where they're like, I don't know what we're going to do. And then they find their way out. But just the way it was presented, it was basically the professor kind of patted Quinn on the back and was like, yeah, we're out of time, aren't we? And then he just wandered off. And I'm like, guys, a little bit of emotion here would have been good.
How about you, Egg? What are your initial thoughts about, the Exodus Part 1?
Okay. So here's the thing. This is episodes 2 and 3 for me ever watching this series.
Yeah.
This is what I've realized about our two hosts. Y'all go into bars full of veterans from foreign wars, people that have seen stuff, people that really have that 1,000-yard stare, and they recite their stories about all the hell they've seen. And they're like, can you top that? And you're like, yes. I've seen 5 seasons of Sliders, and I did it for fun.
Yo.
Y'all are a tougher group of people than I am.
Oh, man.
So this was
We appreciate that. Yeah, we are definitely being made like we are. We're made of sterner stuff, I guess. And these episodes were a test. I will say initial thoughts for the part one. I'll go ahead and say it. I think part one was better than part two because part two, like to John's point, they were subdued in part one about like, oh, okay, the world's about to end. Well, it's like, okay, we've already been to apocalypse world, right? And the second one, Remy was like, fuck this shit. I am leaving these people behind. I'm losing my shit. And it seemed like everything was ramped up in the craziest way in part two. So for that, I actually prefer this one for being a little bit more subdued, I guess. And it gave people like relationships, some of them I hate, to grow a little bit more. So initial thoughts without getting in deep into it. That's kind of how I felt about part one. How about you, Rain?
This was stressful in the best and worst ways at the same time. I was like, what the hell is happening? It was so. I will say to center in on one thing, Maggie is a terrible actress. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? I am here and you are over there. I'm like, girl, just relax. But I still love now. Be very clear, I love camp, over the top, low budget. I love all of that. But I was like, Maggie, you suck, lady. I don't know what to say. Like, it's the same. I guess my same complaint is that the sliders to me do not have enough street smarts, and not even like, oh, I grew up this way. No, you've been sliding for 3 years. Some stuff you just have to be like, okay, when we slide, get to the nearest hole in the ground, get to hiding. And it's like, out of all the worlds, you saw a man's car flip, do a Tanya Harding flip in the air, and you're just like, yeah, let me not. I don't know. So this was such a chaotic, over the top. Even I don't know, man. I don't know. That's it. That's what I landed on. I do not know. I don't know.
Gotcha. Okay, so I will give a brief recap for the part one, courtesy of Google search. I guess it was Google AI that summed it up. So I appreciate. Thank you, our AI overlords. In Sliders, the Exodus Part 1, Season 3, Episode 16, the team arrives on a world facing total destruction from an approaching pulsar. They are forced by a local military unit to help refine sliding technology to evacuate 100. Well, initially it was 140 survivors. The episode introduces Captain Maggie Beckett, who partners with Quinn to find a suitable, safe world. So, hashtag STTM pod. Share it with your friends. The kids are going to be talking about this episode. This has all the riz. That's okay. So the one thing I did want to mention was this world felt like they had just gone back to our world. There was nothing different about this aside from the fact that pulsars were about to destroy this world.
No. President Oliver North.
Okay, there you go, President Oliver North. But then they also mentioned, I think in the second episode, the Colonel says the fall of Saigon. I was like, they couldn't even choose a different location. They were just like, that's why it felt the same. And then also you have the Soviets and the U.S. still kind of fighting, and the most phallic cover I had ever seen. Like never mind, I'll leave it, whatever. But yeah, so I don't know. There was nothing really. It didn't really feel any different than some of the worlds that they had been to, and it just felt like that seemed to be an afterthought. So I don't know. Like, was there any thoughts about that, or were there any other differences that y'all saw or picked up on?
So in terms of how this felt like a totally different world than any place else that I'd seen in the prior episode, there were pulsars. Mm-hmm. Y'all remember combos when you were a kid?
Yes.
Thing.
Yeah.
It was like they had just radiated a combo, and the cheese is shooting out, and the cheese is going to take and hit Russia, and they're all going to be cheese, man. So, in a universe where pulsars are made by the same company as combos, they had to slide.
There you go.
Yeah.
John, Ray, anything else about the world?
I guess I just took, because I actually don't mind this idea of, and they kind of, I guess it's in the second episode when they're in the other world and they're like, how are doubles? Are they the same? And they trick the other Maggie.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't mind just the name drop of the President North. And then it seemed like, since we're hanging out with the military, I'm like, is this just a highly militarized world, or something like that? Like, because the Cold War is still going on, like, did we just escalate this and ramp it to the next level? But I agree, like, overall, like, there's not that much difference in it, except apparently you can throw people in the back of a car but not show you throw the other two military guys that you didn't knock out into the back of the car, and then you just wander down the street to go back to Rain's thing. And like, I mean, they're just walking in the middle of the road as if they didn't just like harass military people. I was like, what is happening here, guys? Like you, at least I feel like on the last episode there was a little bit of hiding at times, not entirely, but a little bit more than that. Like, they feel like they're so jaded. They're just like, listen, we got 3 days here. I mean, we might as well just shake some stuff up now. Let's just.
And then also to talk so much crap to her, like Quinn was like, this is the face and the name, and it just tosses her into the trunk.
They had so much just swag walking down that street where they were like, they didn't have a care in the world
at all
about what they were doing or what they had done or gonna do.
They're villains. I'm now, to me, Queen is the ultimate villain. I don't care what anybody says. You cannot change my mind. He's evil. But all of them together, like you just threw that lady in the trunk and it did not even drive off with her. It's just like, oh, get in the trunk. You're murdering people. Like, their body count. I would like to go back to season 1 and just see how many people have they killed collectively. They've killed a lot of people. I was a little annoyed at the professor knowing the, I guess, pilot maybe who died in their arms initially. I was like, you know what? Hell, this is fine. It's better than it being like a double of Arturo. Like, no, okay, you know this guy. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I didn't pay attention enough. But did we even get that, not 86, but 87? Whatever. Did that even come back? Did that?
Yeah.
You know, dying words. Okay, so it did.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was focused on everything. I'm okay with having missed that. I was like, what the hell going on here? I don't know. Although I did enjoy it, but I was like, you guys don't have enough street smarts to have been sliding for 3 years, and you look like a 90s band or group, just like walking down. Like, we're not seeking shit. It's like, yeah, we're here for a couple days. So fucking what? Let's fight the military. I'm saying, out of all the stuff that they do, it's one thing to land, I don't know, in Central Park, and then now civilians or whatever. These people have guns.
Yeah.
The sliders are silly as hell to me. I'm sorry.
It's one of those things where they try to balance a serious, like, a serious vibe with the camp. I say the 90s camp aesthetic, like you said, where they're walking down the middle of the street and everybody's running around with like TVs and like the end of the world, and they're just like, hey, we've been here before, and that was actually one thing that stood out to me, is that the episode where they decide to, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the professor dies, is just kind of a rehash of the world from the first season. They've been to a world that was about to get hit by a meteor. So you have this, I think the thing that stood out to me was the pulsars hitting different parts of the planet and then you hear reports about it. So I guess that was enough that it was more disturbing rather than, you know, the asteroid or the meteor about to hit Earth.
Right.
Because I loved how they were like, well, Russia's fucked. And then in the second episode, you hear at the beginning, the guy talking about, I think he's in Delaware, and he says that yeah. He's like, I can see all the bodies. It's so bad. And the professor says, well, it's just going to get worse or some shit.
Thanks.
I do think there's a little bit of like jadedness that's now hit the team by this point of these people aren't real, which I guess to kind of bring it back to like the good, like then you get Remy and you know, the Malcolm interaction where it's like finally we get like a face on this other world, like somebody that like, because up to that point I do think it's because our guys are only on world for 2 or 3 days normally at most. So it's like you can't get attached, and I know we have episodes where they get attached and all that, but it was a nice juxtaposition to just everybody being la 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 about it, because it's just like, it's another world. If they're dying, they're dying. What you gonna do about it? And then it's like, like this kid's like gone through the stuff, and like we got to get him on this list, you know, like to get him off world. So I did appreciate that, and I, you know, to jump ahead, like you said, the episode 2 for a minute, like Remy kind of losing his stuff was actually the emotional thing I needed to have happen, because I'm like, finally, like the stress of the situation is getting to you, you know.
Go ahead, Eric.
I wanted to back it up because there's something that happens early in the first episode and continues on throughout, and I couldn't follow it. So we have one of your guest stars, Roger Daltrey of The Who, who I don't know from his music. I just know him from Highlander. He's one of the Immortals. Yeah. And spoiler for that series, he gets killed. Okay. And then he's here. And of course, as an Englishman, he's in the American military. This tracks. And I'm like, have we slid into the Highlander world? Because this would be great. And then we have, you know, he's taking and stealing people's brain fluids. And the whole time I'm thinking like he's going to be an alien or something, or this is going to be some crazy thing. It was crazy, but it was crazy dumb.
Yeah.
The explanation, I'm trying not to get ahead. But yeah, that's one of the things that if you look into the history of this episode, people are like, why was he British with the, you know, in the American military? I wanted to, before I forget, so I actually loved Colonel Rickman, and more so in this one than in the second one, because I think in the second one there was this vibe of like, we got to wrap this shit up. So like everything was happening so fast.
Yeah, I agree.
But in this one, they allowed him a chance to be like this evil presence that I don't think we've had since Logan St. Clair. Logan St. Clair, or even just
counting Quinn as an evil presence.
I mean, well, so we're going to get to that. I'm like, there's a whole special section for that, but so that's a little bit about Rickman, but then also I actually really valued Malcolm and Remy's relationship, especially in this one. It just, I don't know, there was something about it that really just kind of worked for me, especially when they initially met each other in the catacombs, or the tunnels. And I think it's been a minute since we've actually had a kid on here as a part of like the guest cast. As far as, or at least a guest, not a guest host, but a guest actor.
Yeah.
I don't know, like how did Malcolm and I was going to say Malcolm and Eddie. How did Malcolm and Remy work for you, Ray?
No, I love them. At first, I was a little suspicious. Like, look at this kid. Like, I think I look at this show a lot of times through like 2025, 2026 lens. And it's like, why is he the only kid here? Well, it's the 90s. They weren't going to hire 40 kids. Like, just relax. Except that there's other kids you don't see. And so I have to like remind myself, reset my brain to be like, okay, there's a lot to complain about, but this can't be that thing. Once I like reprogram myself to be like, okay, well, he's here. I was like, this story, I think they really do well with children in this show. Like the little kid who was like stealing from the he was supposed to fly with them.
The Disneyland corporate world. Yeah.
So when it comes to kids and delivering like through Malcolm, I could tell that yes, this is an ominous world, a lot of stuff going on, but his lens of like, one, I'm beneath the city streets and it's like I don't know, old school tunnel, and then I'm doing this graffiti, like I'm counterculture. Like the existence of Malcolm is counterculture. He's in flannel hoodie, everybody else is like suited up to the chin, and even his conversation with Remy felt, and this could be a bit of a reach, but art is, you can interpret it how you want, but I felt like this was Remy talking to himself. Because a lot of times we get, the music, I'm a singer, this and that, and it's playing for laugh, playing for jokes, sometimes serious, but like being able to distill that down to art, and then this little kid doing this art, and it's like, how do you help him? His mother's in a coma, his dad is away, his biological mom is like elsewhere. It was like a trifecta of like trauma, but I'm still producing this beautiful works of art that, like, if he did that, that brother needs he did a job somewhere else, because this is grown people art that he was like so good. But no, I really loved them, and my initial frustration was like, man, relax. This is 1990 something. This kid probably made a lot of money, and if it was split between 2 or 3 kids, maybe he wouldn't have made as much. But I enjoyed them. I did.
Yeah, and I think it gives him it gives Remy something to do aside from just being the support, for all of the other, and that's something that has been a constant where to the point where they literally a couple of episodes ago, Quinn and the professor told Wade and Remy to go get service jobs so they could make money for the group, and it was just like. And while Quinn, of course, got paired up with the attractive woman of the episode, and the professor got to do like his investigation of the Tremors monsters. But yeah, it was. So I was glad that he got that. Let's talk about the sliders just in general. At least for the first episode, Wade, I think, worked because they used their computer savviness. In the most horrible way possible. And I did see it as, the Colonel being opportunistic, so that nobody would know and it just kind of happened. That I don't know. Like I think aside from that, I do like the internal conflict that she was dealing with. And it was kind of like put upon her to determine who's going to live and who's going to die. So I don't know, like anything else to like add with her for this first part.
I mean, I think that's the big. I felt like everybody had something to do in this episode, especially. And while she probably had the least amount of screen time of the group in this episode, she had one of the biggest like things where you could come back to it, and it allowed her to interact with the Colonel more than probably anybody else other than Maggie. And I actually think they did a decent enough job. Like, obviously he's the big bad, and like normally when you get the name, guest stars, like we know that's how it's going to be, but I thought they did a decent enough job. Like, he's an asshole, he's the bad guy as far as like he's in your way, but the whole like brain sucking, all that stuff, it was like I didn't, even though I knew that was where we were going because I'd seen it, I didn't immediately go like, I absolutely think it's going to be this guy. Like, it could have been, technically it could have been a couple of people. It could have been Maggie's husband. It could have been even Malcolm. That would have been really weird, but like it could have been some, like you had a couple of other choices potentially. And so I think having Wade interact with him at least gave him a tiny bit of humanization, a little bit at least.
Yeah. How about you, Eric?
In terms of what she added to the episode, I feel that with stronger writing and stronger acting, it could have really had a lot of weight with the whole thing where, like, I have to choose who lives and dies. That's a lot to put on me. I'm not from this world, so I don't care about these people. You live and you die. Who cares? But, You know, I could see where it could be great. It was what it was to me.
Yeah. How about you? Did Wade round out the Fantastic Four in a good way? Rain for this episode?
I wasn't upset. I was actually just more impressed that she wasn't paired with another woman. Because they're good to just throw her up with the girl and like, y'all do girl stuff. And it's like, no, I'm with this dickhead who's rude to me, which I was the whole time I was like, why doesn't anyone just kill him? Like, I don't like truly, we don't need him. Like, y'all can just get, but whatever. But no,
I didn't make the list.
That's what I'm saying. Like, get him out of here. But yeah, I enjoyed Wade in that she wasn't just paired with a woman, and like you said, she had something to do. Even though it was kind of clunky, he was like, "Yeah, I heard you got computer savviness."
Exactly.
Yeah, I do. I don't know who told you, but I work for Rent Center. I was like, okay, well, there's that. But I was able to get past that because, like, again, she's not just paired with Maggie, which you could have easily done. Though Quinn was, there's a conversation there. But I do think they're at least trying to keep her consistent. I think this would have been the episode for maybe like a diary entry, but.
Man, I mean, it makes too much sense, especially with the death of one of their with one of the fucking sliders.
Oh my god!
Yeah, the other thing I'd forgotten about, there was a couple of things with Remy and his relationship with Colonel Rickman. The first thing was Remy. I like that they had Remy investigating. Or like, you know, kind of pointing out, you know, why things seem suspect. And then by part 2, they said, fuck that. Remy's just about to lose his shit. Fucking investigation. He said he was on this Dick Tracy for one episode. And then they just like, so I like that they did that. The other thing though is like, why did Rickman point him out specifically? Like when they had all the sliders. And you know, he said to, what did he say to Remy? He said something like,
I don't like you.
I don't like you.
I don't like
like, where did that come from? This was before he had tried to escape or like tried to find an exit.
There's a small possibility that maybe like that the order got jumbled up.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Well, also, I think we've established that Rickman is a racist because in the next world he was talking about
the natives. Oh my god! And Maggie was like, "Wait a minute, this is not regular asshole lead. This what is this?"
We'll get to that, but yeah, that was a weird thing. Like maybe the order got mixed up, but like I remember him saying that to Remy, and I was just like, "Okay, y'all." Yeah. The most Remy does is support and sing. You need to leave him alone.
The only thing I was wondering is, was it because of the military aspect? You know, because the Remy's background is like former military. Maybe he recognized some. I mean, I think it's what you said otherwise, but like, you know, to give the villain benefit of the doubt, you know, maybe he's just an asshole, not a racist asshole.
But he was an asshole to everyone, though. Like, maybe that's
why he opportunity asshole.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he had no reason not to. Like, so it's also like, and also fuck you too, guys. Because he was just a dickhead.
Like, you're not even from this country. Your British accent.
Right.
The one that we haven't talked about the professor. Because I want to like give the bulk of a character discussion to Quinn and Maggie because that shit is problematic as fuck. Any thoughts about the professor with the first with this first part?
Was he being paid by the word he spoke? Because he was not in that episode enough to worry about.
I'll just say this: behind the scenes, he was what's his name? John Rhys Davies was getting, excuse my language, kids, fucked over. And I would not be surprised if that tied into how much screen time he got between these two parts. That's the only explanation I have, because he is uncharacteristically chill, right? Yeah. He is, I'm not saying that every episode he is always at 10, but he has never been as low key. Like even when Remy swings on, well, not swings, but he knocks the motherfucker out in the second part. The professor is kind of like, he's kind of calm, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. That might just be me, but I mean it's good. I mean that might tie into like the behind the scenes issues that they were having, or that he was having. So I don't know. But any other thoughts about the professor, at least for this part, or for part one?
I mean, like Egg said, that he's not there a ton. He's very subdued. He's, it just feels, and not to be like he's like they just didn't give him much to do in this episode. He really is. Whereas like Remy has a big part. Obviously, Maggie and Quinn have big parts, and Wade then has maybe a secondary or tertiary part. Like he's like at Z. Like, like it's Rickman, it's Maggie's husband, it's the kid, it's the guard that randomly just showed up when the guy was brain sucked, and then it's the professor.
Which is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, considering these are his last few episodes, it's just weird. So I know, Brain, because I know this is your favorite. You've already mentioned Maggie. You give your thoughts about Maggie, but also give your thoughts about Quinn and Maggie. And because I've been ready for this.
I hate Quinn. I don't care. I hate Quinn with every fiber of my being. With everything I can muster, I hate that man. Now Quinn, of course, not the actor, but Quinn. I think Maggie was not great at acting, but I was okay with it. It was like, whatever, girl, you got this. I was so disgusted with the two of them because of the romance plot.
Yep.
I was okay with like I'm even okay like because you could be married and be attracted to someone else. That's not illegal. That's not a moral failing. But I feel like you've set up so much of their dynamic. We already know Queen's going to be with the pretty girl, but I thought once it came out that she was married, that like, and I don't want to be like it's a moral failing of the show, but like Quinn has done something. He's been with every type of beautiful woman you could possibly think of, but it's like, do you want me to hate him? Even with my initial hate aside, it was just like, I get the back and forth. I don't like you. I don't like you. I like that part of them. But when it was like, oh, this is like a enemies to lovers, that's something like, this is fucking gross. You know this woman is married, and lady, you know you're married. And I hate to, and I'm gonna be careful with how I'm going to ask for grace from the listeners and viewers at large when I discuss this portion, because I don't want to get anything, step on any toes, or be politically incorrect. But it's like you set her up to be this particular type of woman, and you even like put her husband in a wheelchair. And I don't want to say that as if you can't be disabled and have love. I want to be clear, but it's like, with this being the 90s, there were certain visual cues you put in place so that you could be like, oh, this is a general's daughter. She's strict, she's stern. This is her science husband. He's in a wheelchair, and this and that. And it's like, here comes sexy Quinn with abs, and he's not in a wheelchair, and he's just as smart. It's like, what? And then to have her husband be like kind of a bit insecure, which I think rightfully so, because again, what the fuck are y'all doing? I don't like Quinn in this. I thought I couldn't like him any less or any more or whatever. I absolutely hate him. And I really wish that Maggie would have been his double on this world. So I could be like, oh, you're fucking gross again, because you've already hit on your female version of you. And now you hit on the female version of you who has a husband. You fucking suck. So there's nothing that he can do to come back from this for me. I hate him.
John, how about you?
So Rain, like everything you said, I'm on board with. And I was thinking about it because I'm like, it annoyed me so much that they immediately went to the romance thing. But I expected it. It's the 90s. He's done it in all these episodes. The thing that gets me though is, and this doesn't make it right, but it would at least give you an out if Steve, the scientist or whatever, was a complete jackhole. Yeah. If he somehow is like the worst person on the planet, and you're like, why is she with him? Then I could buy that. Like, she's in a bad marriage, and there's been no love there for years, and she's really only with him because she feels guilty about the accident or whatever. No, it was like, I love you too. Like she at one point did the heart thing or something, and I was like, what is happening? Like this, you've made this guy, like I'm rooting for him to punch Quinn out at some point. You know what I mean? Like that, I felt bad for him. Because I was like, he could see what was happening. And I'm like, I don't think my man deserves any of this. Whereas, again, you could have easily written, maybe it would have been too much of a trope, but like you could have written him as a bad guy. And then maybe I go, well, yeah, like she probably does need somebody, even if it is Quinn, like maybe she needs somebody else to give her like some stability or whatever. So I was highly disappointed with that. And especially in episode 2, the almost kiss. Ooh. That rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, man, he's on this planet, or he's about to be on this planet too, guys. Like,
what about you, Egg? The will they, won't they, moonlighting Quinn and Maggie edition.
Okay, so like this was great. We go to the other, so we slid into this planet. Then we slide over to the other planet. This planet again. Then we're not going to move there. Like that was the one that got me to where like this other planet, they're a bunch of assholes. They're you. Work it out, man. We get over there, they're captured, right? We're not going to slide back to this world. So she's like, here's how you take and get inside her head. All the things that are going to make her super happy. I'm like, where are we going? Because there's like 2 of her. Is this like that thing in Austin Powers, like twins, Basil, twins? So that was amazingly dumb. And but when we get to the second episode, and I don't want to jump ahead to that, so if we need to hold on. When we get to the second episode, and it's the confrontation between Quinn and Remy and Wade, like. I really just wanted Quinn to go, well, I haven't slept with her yet, so we're not leaving.
I would have loved that. Oh my God.
When he and the thing is, I don't think this actress is a good actor. I'm just going to say it. Like I especially because she is now part of the Fab Four. I'm just telling you, like, so she is a part of the Fab Four. So the thing though is that her facial expressions when Quinn says, tell me what her weaknesses, and she goes, well, she likes to be flattered, and you shouldn't even be hearing this. And it's just like, it's this weird, it's like this flirtatious, weird shit. And I love Quinn going back to the first season, but after watching the show with Rain, and seeing it in this light, I don't know what to think. Actually, no, he's an ass. And the writers also, for them, it just, I don't know. I hate that this is the direction that they were like, this will be perfect to go, because guess what's going to happen now? Mm-hmm. She is there with this weird ass love triangle that they've had Wade and Quinn on for like episodes and episodes. So like now you have, so anyways, get ready for that. So the one thing I will say is that the only good I think that came out of pairing the two of them up was scouting, going to multiple worlds in one episode, because we haven't had that since the episode where Quinn stalked his ex, his childhood crush, in like season 1 or season 2. So, and actually shout out to The Crossing, because we do that well, John, where people come to multiple. You can find it at 133art.com. But I did like the fact, I did like that part of the storyline where they were scouting new worlds. So I don't know.
It kind of goes to the thing of like, this world's not that much different than any other world that they like. It looks like their regular world, so it's almost like they owed us some like jumps to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids world, or whatever. So,
well, the other thing that I noticed, and I don't know if I saw this, but on the double Maggie's uniform, I could have swore that she was wearing a lapel that had a pin that had the sickle and the hammer.
Oh.
And like if So I don't know. That's just like my weird headcanon. So what if this was the Soviet world that they had gone to in the first episode? I don't know.
Hey, that would be nice.
I'm stretching, but yeah, they don't do that type of lore building on this show. But Ray, where are we about to go?
World where the American military was run by Americans. It could have been a totally different world.
How dare you? How dare you?
Keep politics out of the podcast. Sound like some woke shit to me. Anyway, so we are woke all the time on this one. If y'all haven't watched it yet, but the New Worlds. The other thing that got me was, and this was something that we had mentioned a couple weeks ago, the timer. I thought they were about to get a new, like a completely new timer, especially after the Egyptian world, fiasco. So I will say, what did y'all think about the idea of them now being able to kind of follow the specific like coordinates, or actually, or the idea of like the home, having set coordinates? If that was, I think that's what it was.
So if I could jump in on that, the concept for this series is really good.
Yeah,
we're sliding between worlds and hitting the point where 3 years into it, you finally have hit something that's going to help you get home, right? Like we found that huge piece of the puzzle to where, like, well, now if we get to Earth Prime, we'll have the coordinates so we could get back there, even if other stuff comes up. It's a great idea. So I'm really excited that they've actually, like, I'm here for an important puzzle piece to show up. I feel that then you also add a complication with the professor's situation, right? Obviously, he's one of the 2 people in the team, best I can tell, that would be able to work on this, and you lose one of them, right? And the other one, whatever world he slides to, he's going to see what he can do to get everybody in trouble. So he's not your best person to work on this. So I feel like if there was a greater degree of competence in the direction, that like this was a really important moment, just in terms like we got a way out. And they sort of do that when Remy and Wade confront Quinn about it. We're like, we've got a way home. But
yeah, they're before anybody else as far as like with the the new lore added, with the timer. And actually, what about the timer that they were using? I mean, that looked pretty snazzy. It was like curved. It was just like,
Sega Genesis.
Yeah, it was a Sega Genesis controller. I'm sorry.
I was confused. And not literally confused, but I was confused that them having sliding technology already, and I'm assuming it was a shorthand so that we didn't have to do a lot of exposition. So I'm okay with that. But it felt like y'all are terrible at this, but your designs are better, and the coordinate portion of it, like, I'm okay with it. But I feel like we've come across this a time or two before, like with what were those monsters, those humans cousins that's been following them? Like we had a bit of that with them, and then we had it with the fire breathing fire world, the little fire.
They were like, we can go home.
Like, we have this, and it's like you're just showing how incompetent Quinn is at every turn. That we like. I'm okay with it. I'm fine with what they're giving us. I'm just tired of Quinn being the leader, but also being the reason we don't get far. So the coordinates are fine, but how many more worlds will we have to find beautiful women and save their Earth before he will allow us to then get back home? It's
all of them. All of them.
Which is crazy. I don't support the villains. Be very clear, but they were a bit more focused. At what, even though there was lying and trickery, it was like, we just need to get to another world, find a habitable world. Where Quinn's like, I've had 30 chances to get us home, and for some reason it doesn't work. It's like, all right, Satan, let's
And then they do get home, right? So the last world they go to, well, like you remember, Ray, the last episode, you said, whose fucking father is this?
Man,
what is this?
I said, who is this woman?
Well, no, the actress I think is the same.
Is she?
So, yeah, I think she's the same.
I don't know, man. Maybe because the hair is red. Maybe she got a little bit of weight on her. But you sure?
Let's agree to disagree on that one. But the neighborhood, that does
not
look like San Francisco at all.
I was so mad. Like, even if we watched this live in the 90s, I think I'm going to. The house was so important. I'll remember that this is not. I was like, bro, what the hell? Where's the port?
I know that they've switched from Vancouver to LA, but to have Quinn just sit up there and say, well, this is my old house, and I was just like, that does not look. It's not. I am not a dummy. And then she came out, and because this show is what it is, that has to be their world, right? It has to be their world. Right, and then so at the end of it, you just leave your mom crying and like just like losing her shit
in the hospital. Like what?
I don't know. Like any thoughts about them actually making it home for the 15th time and doing the fence test? But Egg or John?
Well, so there's that moment early on. I don't remember if season 1, 2, maybe it's earlier this season, where they go to home. He does the fence test and it doesn't squeak because she's fixed it. And that was like a cool moment because you're like, oh man, they were there and they just didn't realize it. But this one squeaked. But I'm like, she's repaired it. So technically it should never squeak anymore. So that actually makes me think this wasn't Earth Prime.
Okay.
It was just another world. That was, again, maybe the theme of this episode is we're sliding into worlds that are almost our world, but just not quite. Like, we're not going to have the Soviet Union take over. It'll just be a squeaky gate. Ollie North got to be present, but that's it. Nothing else changed. Don't worry about it.
I mean, at a certain point, you just got to say, fuck it. I'm good. I'm just staying here. But
can I just say one thing? Because I know we're at the end of the episode, and I would be remiss if I didn't point out my absolute favorite moment of this episode is when he grabs Maggie off the table. The doctors are yelling at him. He opens up the gateway and he goes, "It's called sliding."
Okay.
I lost it when I was watching the episode. I was like, what just happened? Why would they care? Why did you need to announce it? As if like it was almost like I expected us to never have had the credits and then the main screen pop up. Like, my favorite part of the episode though, it's called sliding.
I put that in quotations.
Like, what do you mean?
And then the doctor turns to his mother and says, "Your son's a bit of an ass."
Exactly.
We're at the superlatives. Any final thoughts, like just random, thoughts about the episode, or any moments that hopped out at you before we get into the end of it? Ed, go ahead.
This was a master class in how to do a cliffhanger. Just a master class. You get to the end of it and you're like, "To be continued," and you're like, "You mean after the commercial break or what?" Like, my God, am I expected to remember this next week? There's going to be a previously, right?
I'm going to give you that recap. So, since John mentioned the favorites, we can actually start with the favorite moment, favorite and least favorite moment from the episode. So, it's actually we'll start with Rain and work our way around.
Lord. Okay. Favorite was actually when Remy got electrocuted and Malcolm ran up to him. Because, no, because I felt like it was like, oh no, he was so apologetic. Like, I didn't know that was gonna happen. I promise you I did. Like, it was such a, after they had that like kind of rough meeting in the basement or whatever. So I did like that, and I thought the effects were done really well as well. I was like, okay, this is cool. Y'all did good. So that's probably my favorite. My least favorite is every scene with Quinn. No, my least favorite, I don't know, man. There's so many, and they're so Quinn-centric, and probably, honestly, probably him opening up that gate, because for everything that John said, and that's what I was thinking the whole time, was like, we know your real world. This is not how this works. Like, this is wrong. So I don't know, because of the nature of the show, the type of show it is, I don't know if the show is like telling me, no, this is their real world, or if the show's like, maybe not, I'm just playing. I didn't like that, because to me it's a little bit unclear. So that was probably my least favorite.
Okay. So I'll double dutch in. Favorite moment is actually Remy and Malcolm connecting, so that, them connecting and him shaking him and saying, "You better believe in yourself. You got to believe in yourself, Malcolm." It was just like, Malcolm was like, God, okay. So the moments with them, least favorite would be Quinn and Maggie low-key flirting throughout the episode. Anyway, for all the reasons that we have discussed. Ed, what about you? Favorite and least favorite moment?
I've already mentioned it, but Roger Daltrey showing up, and I'm just like, I know who you are. Why are you here? So that was my favorite moment. I'm like,
yeah,
please be an immortal. Please start taking people's heads. That'd be so awesome. That was my favorite moment. It didn't go the way I wanted to, but I was very happy with it. Least favorite moment. This is the episode where they go to the war with the giants, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so least favorite moment. We see that they're giant golfers, and it's not Happy Gilmore. I was like, oh, missed opportunity.
Yeah,
that would have been awesome. And John, for you, I guess you gave us your favorite moment. What's your least favorite moment?
I mean, we kind of hammered it. I mean, just anything with him and Maggie.
Yeah,
kind of the flirtation, it really, every time I was like, guys, y'all are y'all, well, I was gonna say, are y'all not better than this? But then I'm like, maybe y'all aren't better than this. Yeah. Like, so that was kind of the key thing.
It was sickening. It's just a sickening Sliders moment. So we can start, and then also let's do favorite characters and favorite and least favorite. So John, I'll start with you since we're in that quadrant.
Favorite character is the giant bunny rabbit with fangs. I will say this, it comes in as like one of my second favorite moments though, and it actually for legitimate reasons, where Maggie is kind of being a know-it-all, like I know everything, and Quinn's like, yeah, you might not want to do that, like we have done this from time to time, like things aren't always exactly. I was like, that to me was a good moment between the two of them.
Yeah,
as she, up till that point, she definitely has that like know-it-all, I'm like general's daughter, I'm in charge, blah blah blah. It's like, all right, do what you got to do. I was like, see, if this was y'all's dynamic, I'd be on board. Like, so.
And least favorite?
Oh, least favorite character. I don't think because I don't have the hate for Maggie like specifically that I think some people have, but like, so I can't really like throw her under that bus. So, I just think the two of them together makes them the least favorite couple that shouldn't be. Gotcha. At least not at this point, certainly.
That's fair.
How about you? Least favorite and least favorite?
Favorite character, very beginning of the episode, the two guys holding the sofa as four people drop on it and they don't let it go. I'm like, damn.
Man,
like falling out of the sky, and ain't none of them look that small, right?
No, right.
Oh yeah, you just okay, cool, man. Like, I'm not getting in a fight with y'all.
No, they'll put you in a trunk and just not even worry about it.
I mean, the Sliders stay whooping ass. They stay whooping ass. What about your least favorite?
Least favorite was definitely Maggie 2. She didn't bring the nuance to Maggie 1.
Oh, no, Maggie 2. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. So for me, favorite character is Remy. I enjoyed his work with Malcolm and him investigating before he dropped said investigation in the second episode or the second part. Least favorite is Malcolm's father. They gave Malcolm's stepmother more lines and more character development than the brother who stepped out and was like, and then when he got stuck in the back of the neck and got went into his coma, it was this thing of like him trying to keep his eyes rolled in the back of his head as I think Remy held him or whatever. So it was just, it wasn't the best look for the actor who had no lines. And I was just like, that don't look like Malcolm. I'm sorry. But he probably favors his mom who's in the pulsar affected area of the earth. But yeah, favorite, least favorite. How about you, Ray?
Malcolm is my favorite. Just a scrappy kid with just was like, look at my art, which some of that was not good. That charcoal, I was like, what is this? I said, is this Remy? Is this a lady? I was like, oh, this no, but he was a great kid. Least favorite, it's always Quinn, so I'm trying not to go Quinn. I'm probably gonna go with like, I don't know, Quinn's like Quinn. Yeah, I tried. I did. I was like, oh, well, I can't even give it to Maggie because, like, yeah, you cheated, but like, this is a pattern for Quinn. This might be your first time being unfaithful, which is still bad, but like, he does this, so Quinn sucks.
Rain says for the 50th episode in a row, Quinn takes it again.
Oh my God, I tried. I'll try better for the next one, but yeah, it's Quinn.
Okay, so out of how many irradiated pulsars are you rating this episode, John?
I mean, I think this actually serves as all the other stuff, the Maggie Quinn stuff aside, I think this sets up obviously big things, and I think like in a lot of ways, I really did enjoy kind of getting to that point. There was stakes, like we have some key things that are going to happen. So I mean, I would think maybe a 7.5. Yeah. But they're minor combos, definitely irradiated combos.
Gotcha. And Egg, how about you?
We're gonna go with nacho cheese flavored combos. I'm gonna give this 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. Okay.
Like it was set up, but like, and a lot of this is based on the things that happened in the second episode. That I was like, we're just gonna drop the ball on everything you set up in the first. But like the first episode, I should rate it higher. Yeah. Honestly, not just now that I'm talking myself through it, I would give it 5.1 out of
5.1. 5.1. Okay.
Nacho combos.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna have 7.5. 7.5 because I do think that like Egg just mentioned, the failures in the second episode, like they completely just disregarded a lot of shit that they set up for this one. So I'd say 7.5. Rain, how about you?
I'm doing 6.5. 6.5. Yeah, because I did have fun. It was a lot, but I did have a fun time watching it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just gonna land on 6.5.
Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, so going into the Exodus part 2, I'll just go ahead and read the recap. The brief recap from Google Search AI. Shout out to the future. No, I'm kidding. I have it up. There we go. So in the recap, the Sliders, the Exodus part 2, Colonel Rickman kills Professor Arturo, who dies sacrificing himself for Quinn. After suffering brain damage from a previous attack, the team, devastated by this loss and facing fatal radiation, tracks Rickman to a new world where Maggie joins them to avenge her husband. So one thing I will say, the professor is rendered brain dead. He's shot, and then his body is left on the planet to explode. So let's get into this happy episode. The writers hated him. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. And the one thing I will note is that apparently John Rhys Davies was one of the writers for the previous episode. And then for the episode where he actually died, they said, fuck that shit. He's like, so that in particular, because I just want to make sure we get that, since it's such a big thing. And do y'all want to wait to talk about the death, or do you want to kind of just lead with it, or do you want to kind of build up to it?
Whatever.
Okay, so let's just start with that. What do y'all think about him being offed in this episode? Actually, I want Rain and then Egg to discuss it first.
I was so pissed off because we've done this with Quinn. So I'm like, oh, surely they're going to find a way to like drag his body to another world, and magically there's a, I don't know, hippopotamus who like knows science and can like nibble on his foot and he's alive. I think it especially frustrated me because we've already had him suffer with an illness where you kind of was teasing, hey, you could go, which to me would have been a much better send off for the character, because you've already put it into the show and into like this secret that him and Quinn, like that to me felt like, okay, if he's gonna go, that's unfortunate. The other thing that I was working through was like, is this even the real professor still? Like, is there some like, hey, maybe he's dead, and then 5 episodes later we circle back to the real professor. It was like, where the blast have you been, or whatever. I didn't like this because I also felt like his defining personality trait is, I'm a professor, I'm a well-educated man, and to remove that part of him and then kill him is like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like that was such a weird thing, because I could say a lot of things about the professor, critiques and all, but every world we've seen him in and every variation of him, he's been this intelligent man who can give you exposition, but also like that is him. It's like if on the next world Quinn is like really skinny and unattractive and no abs. It's like, but that is what makes him him. If he kept his shirt on, but so I didn't like it. I was like, this is, and because I went into it thinking, oh, okay, he's going to make it. So I never I didn't have the anxiousness of like, oh, what'll happen? I was like, of course they're going to make it. Yeah, it's 5 minutes, but we've done less. We've done more with less. So I was pissed off. I don't like this at all. I'm not a fan.
Egg, how about you as the other newcomer to this tragic circumstance?
So 3 episodes in, they build one of the big 4, and it's a bold move. Okay, here we are, 3rd episode, and like, this is like Sean Bean dying for me in the show. You know, like, what's the rest of this series going to be? I thought it was a bold move to kill the guy that I legitimately feel probably has the biggest career, the most acting talent. I didn't expect him to die, because like I feel I knew that like the actor doesn't make it all the way through the series. I didn't expect it to be these 2 episodes where it's like, hey, so deuces. And I really did appreciate the fact that like the reaction of him was like, I'm stepping in front of this bullet, I guess. Oh no.
Well, the thing I love about that is because they're doing this weird slow motion thing. When they show the other people standing behind them, they are just standing there like,
yes.
There's like nobody is holding their hands up. Nobody is like ducking back. Like, everybody is just standing there. John is the OG of the sliders, like to go through this trauma again.
Yeah, I mean, I think though what gets me is the special effects of that moment is so poorly done. I can buy him like stepping in front of Quinn. That's his protege that, he loves him like a son, I totally get that. But it was just so poorly done. Like you said, where they're just standing. I mean, legitimately, if you said that was AI, Like them just standing behind him. Like they couldn't get the AI to work right. I would have been like, yeah, well, obviously AI is in its infancy in 1998 or whatever year it is now. They just like I was telling my wife this. I said it was so funny to watch the scene again with today's eyes going, there's no movement. It's not like he really steps in front, jumps in front, whatever. It's he just happens to be in front.
Yeah.
And then he gets shot and he just turns around. And I think it's supposed to be one of those like, oh, like, did he get shot? I think, as an audience member, we're supposed to have a beat where we're like, oh, did Brickman miss? And then we see, oh no. But it was like the way it's handled is just like he turns around and he's like, oh, I guess I got shot. And he falls down. Like, this is so underwhelming. One little caveat too to this that's not about the death, but like I don't know if we even hear like the portal, the gateway close with Rick. Like we never see him Rickman leave. Mm-hmm. So it's this weird thing of like something big is happening off screen. And yes, this should be our focus, but like at the same time, I'm like, I mean, have him make like a and then leave or something. But yeah, I mean, big picture though, it's like a really, it's such a blow to the show in that, like, I think like we've talked about, he's the scientist at his core. He's the one that knows. And he's also the bridge. It feels like a lot of times for, oh, I work with that guy on our world. And then we have to deal, or, early seasons, it was his other pupil that was always screwing stuff up. I can't think of that character's name, but so it was like he was a bridge to a lot of the science stuff that, like, in theory now we don't have access to anymore. Taking out all the behind the scenes stuff that's going on that may make this necessary to do. And then I did have one question I wrote down. I can't remember, is their slider only keyed to 4 people, or could it take more people?
I mean, it took a whole ass van.
But I mean, like, I was also wondering, like, because there was a part of me that's like, well, now there's still 4 of them, and I know that's a good group anyway. But I was like, I don't think that's an issue, but it could have been, maybe, or something.
I mean, I think that is something they've gone back and forth on, because, like I said, they had a van, like the church van that they drove through the portal.
Right.
And they've also brought other people with them. And so they've had discussions about, I mean, the professor himself, had said that we can't push the timer, So I think maybe in the earlier lore, it was only built for 4 people. And I guess that's the rule. That's just a rule. I hate this. I hate the pettiness of this. That Dave Chappelle skit where it's just like hate.
Yeah.
The writers especially did that for his character, and I once again, anybody watching or listening to this, look at the back, look behind the scenes information about this, and you will understand that there was a personal vendetta against this dude, which was some BS. So the other thing that I noticed though is that they have it's not even a send-off. They're looking at his body, and Remy's like, we got to get to the catacombs. And then Quinn says, you should have done that, Professor. And Wade is the only one that's crying. So it was like they saved the emotional moment for that scene. Until later when Remy is singing the Lord forgive me. I know. When he is singing, I'll just leave it at that. And they're having a moment at the CG cliff, and the water looks fake, and so it was just weird that in that immediate scene they did not allow them to even express any emotions, like I felt that they could have. So I don't know, like I think this is like the worst TV death that I've seen in a while, because they make him into a babbling, I don't want to say idiot, but because he has the brainstem thing. the injection, which is like halfway done, and then he stumbles into the shot literally, and then his body is just left there to explode. So but for Sliders fans, they like, fuck it, that's a double, right? going back to the episode where he fought. So I don't know. I think it's one of the most tasteless things that is done within the franchise, but it changes the course of the series in a few ways. Rain, what were you thinking?
A lot. I hate this. One, I thought the bullet was going to be sucked back in. We've seen that before.
Logan St. Clair.
That didn't happen. Two, I agree with everything you said about the death. Didn't we have a more ceremonious funeral for that one guy who Wade had a love affair with on Suicide World, where the people were? Remember, we went to the other world, and they had a tent for him. What the hell? But on top of that, jumping a little further ahead, okay. Again, to try to be PC, I think we got rid of this full-bodied man for this petite woman. We have one of those. And he's a man of age.
Yeah.
What? And it's so weird because all of them occupy a certain intersectionality that's you don't really want to get rid of them. Even with Quinn, I'm I don't want to just replace him for another handsome, attractive, smart white guy. I like him. I hate him, but I like him. But we have a Wade. We don't need this girl. And she wasn't even science minded. She was military. So it's you got rid of the professor for her.
So, Rain, read the behind the scenes information. This shit gets crazy. You think there are two? God, I don't want to ruin anything.
You need a special episode.
Truly. I agree. I think we do.
Yeah.
I held out hope that he would still be on the show, just popping in as a double and different. And I was like, man, they're not gonna do that.
Fuck it. Let me tell you now.
Tell me.
So they apparently filmed an episode before this. I don't know how many episodes before this. And what they do is they have a flashback episode where they just show that episode rather than that's how they bring him back. And I think it might be Wade writing in her journal when we went to this one world and you see John Rhys Davies just around. I was like, oh shit, he's coming back. It's nah, this whole episode is a flashback to a previous slide.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's crazy.
One thing that I wanted to interject here, it did strike me. Okay, you kill him, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's obviously all these episodes I have not seen. There wasn't a montage just showing some of the highlights.
Yes.
I was just very struck by that, where I'm I feel y'all probably could have worked that in. Just, from a couple of episodes, slow motion, so Remy singing over it would have been great, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then pull at the heartstrings, this is what you've lost, as opposed to, we're moving on.
One thing I did want to, so as far as rest in peace, Arturo. When they keep talking about in these panels recently about bringing his character back, I'm maybe the double, maybe the double. But yeah. So I want to talk about the crash out. Remy. Remy going from part 1 to part 2, like I mentioned, was amazing to me, because once he figured out that they could go back to their world, he said, fuck everybody on this planet. I don't know any of them. And I think he even said, as an afterthought, I think Quinn said to him, what about Malcolm?
Yeah.
And then Remy was like, okay. I don't know. For some reason, I like that. It just seemed like he had just kind of hit his limit. And maybe it came out of nowhere, but it was just this self-serving, fuck everybody else. I don't know. Anybody, any thoughts about Remy in this episode or this part?
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, you.
I super enjoyed when he got mad about everything, and I'm Okay, keep going. Yeah. Everything he was saying to where like, I want to get the fuck out of here. And I haven't watched it, but it's 3 years of doing this stuff, right?
Yes.
So I believe that you would be to the point where, despite the fact at the beginning of the episode, you're walking, or beginning of the last episode, like, well, guess another world is about to explode. Oh, well. Yeah, you want to get out of here. And more importantly, if they'd done it right, I feel the fact that, like, if we don't time this right, we're not going to get out of here. We're going to die here. So, yeah, I want to go home because it's right there. I have this opportunity. And if we fail, we're not just going to slide somewhere else. This could be the end. So, and I really just wish that he had gotten into Quinn's face when they're shouting about this. Again, going back to what I was saying before, like, if you want to sleep with her, get it over with. I want to go home.
John, how about you?
No, like I said before, this is the emotion I wanted in the last episode, though, like from somebody. And like now, and like my headcanon just says, it rewrites certain things to say, well, we're getting down to the last 24 hours, the last however many hours we have. And so now it's like, it's becoming more and more real. And that's why he's going off. He's been trying to help this kid out. He realized, and then now you give him this dangling thing that, they've been going for 3 years. Oh. He's going to lose his shit a little bit. And the whole time I'm like, he should punch him, because I'd forgotten he did punch him. So it's like, no, he should punch him. Like, he should be that man. And then he punched him. Like, I was like, this scene is like perfect. Like, it's the best scene in these like 2 episodes. Yeah. And it's one of the top scenes, I think, in the show, because I think he's calling Quinn out on all the BS. I know he didn't specifically say if you wanted to go F or go F her, but like, it's 3 years of BS of him. Like, it's very Clerks. I'm not even supposed to be here. Like, y'all sucked me into this bullshit.
Right.
And now at this point, you favor these people that we don't know. Yes. And had we never slid to this world, they would all be dead anyway, over the 3 of us. Right? Like, we're supposed to be your family. Like, at this point, if they're not family, I don't know what they are. And you're putting everybody else above us, And so I thought that it made a lot of sense. And even as they're walking away and Wade kind of gives him the last dig, I was like, I feel like that was a nice thing for her, like a little moment, because I'm like I know he's the quote unquote hero and he's supposed to be thinking like altruistically or whatever, but it's like at the end of the day, you're not prioritizing the people that you should care most about, right? And the funny thing is that actually should be a struggle for him, right? I think a little better written or whatever, like that part of it should be a bigger. And I think one of the failings is that he gets punched. Arturo comes over there and kind of pats him on the back and says, "What you got to do," or whatever. And then like, we really don't deal with it again. And, I just think like there's some missing. Like maybe this episode is more about like missing opportunities to have the montage, missing opportunities to like, you kill off this character, but maybe there was a better way to do it, and I feel like this would be a good self-reflection, especially after his mentor dies, to be like, am I the bad guy here? Like, am I doing this right?
Yeah.
No, it's the kids. It's the kids.
Rain, how about you?
I loved it. I loved this scene. What I hated and then also kind of loved about it was Quinn's reaction, because Remy was like, "Yeah, you not thinking of us? Is you the reason why we in this such and such?" And he was like, "Yeah, you never let me forget." And it's like, yeah, and I shouldn't let you. Like, you can't turn this around and make me the villain when you're the reason I'm in this, even more so than Wade and the professor. I'm in this because of you. So yes, your penance is you need to find a way to get us home every time we slide. And now that we have the opportunity in front of us, I shouldn't be surprised you made a baby with a woman in a world, and now that we can control coordinates, you never decided to go back and look for that kid. You are terrible on so many different levels, where he is the villain. But I did like that, because specifically when Wade was being attacked in the dream world, they made him feel bad. When he thought Quinn died, he felt bad. Like there keeps coming these moments where he is getting like, I don't want to say emotionally manipulated, because I think that'd be unfair even with the 90s writing, because I don't think that was the intention. But it's like all the heaviness falls on him and his shortcomings when I didn't ask to be here. It's like your parents get mad at you for spilled milk. It's like, well, you had me. I didn't ask it. I'm also 4. But no, I like that he did get in his face and that Wade stood beside him, because we've had moments with them, albeit kind of icky at times and a little odd, like with the baby thing and oh, do I love you? I do think their pairing, we've said before, Robert, is like they work better. A more interesting pair, but they're dynamic of like the woman and the lone guy who's the black guy and also not a scientist. It's like there's this thing with them that I do enjoy, and seeing them as a unit felt very good, and it didn't feel this weird way of like, oh, I truly love you, and oh, I want to have a baby, and it also removed her from this like, oh, Quinn, could we be in love? Which I haven't felt that way about them in so many episodes. So even when it's brought up here, I'm like, why are we even addressing this? I
agree with everything you said. I think that specifically them pairing them up, her walking him away before he started knuckling up again, goes back to like you said, what we say is that they are just a good pair. They are the normies of the regular everyday people. Shout out to Arrested Development. They're, and aside from that one weird ass episode where they brainwashed him and he was just like, I love her so much. That shit. They just work, so and this sense of righteousness that they keep having Quinn bring up every other episode it's this weird thing. So I don't know. I'm glad he knocked him out. Let's talk about Rickman, the overseer, the campy villain, the sitting at the king's the throne. Like that was a weird ass room. I love that at a certain point he didn't care. He was just at the church murdering people. doing the Michael Jackson black white change videos, like face change. Like, crazy. The camp factor on him was dialed up to like 18 for this one. And I don't know, like I enjoyed him. and maybe I shouldn't have. So I don't, any thoughts about him, like specifically, especially now that he is kind of the big bad, for the group. Or what? Yeah, Ed, what about you?
So he starts. Obviously, I like the actor for other things. Moving beyond that, when he first shows up, we have the pulsar thing, and again, as far as I know, that isn't what a pulsar looks like. So I'm like, oh, like this is a alien invasion. And he's like the lead alien. That's what I was thinking. He's going through and he's changing into these people. I'm like, oh, this is going to be Invasion of the Body Snatchers thing or something like that. And then we don't go that direction at all when we get to this second episode. He's a damaged soldier, and the only way he can save himself is to get brain tissue, which is not what you're getting with a syringe, but the hell do I know?
Yeah.
So when he shows up, I feel the actor's doing the best he can with the material he has.
Yeah.
I feel that with the professor, he was just kind of flat these 2 episodes. When the other episode that I'd seen, he was doing the best he could with the material he had. For the Colonel, it was what it was. He has to keep becoming more and more the villain. His motivation is that I'm going to save 150 people, and that should be enough for me to survive on a planet with a very primitive people where we're going to restart society after I've murdered everybody. Is there a flaw in his plan? Who's to say?
John, what about you? What about Colonel Rickman?
Well, there's a big failing of logic though, like for me, because the article they read, I don't know how long ago it was, but you feel like it had been a minute since that had happened. And then it's like, I almost needed some kind of throwaway line when they confront him of like, you know, it's gotten worse, like as time's gone on. Because suddenly we go from like, you know, there's been a couple of people in the infirmary, you know, doing this. And then it's like he's doing it every 6 hours or, you know, whatever. Like he turns around, he's like, I'm hungry. I need to, like, he's a vampire that like just discovered he could suck blood from people. Like and I just needed one little like throwaway line of like, I thought I had it under control. So, you know, where I mean, again, it doesn't make him like a tragic villain or anything, but just it would explain like, why have you ramped this up to this level? Because you're right, Egg, like logistically, how is this going to work on the new world when he's like, all right, I'm starting to get my feels, so I need to go suck somebody's brain now. You know, you're like, I mean, I guess you're just going to take it from the natives, which
it's 3 meals a day. He's got 150 people. 50 days later, it's over with. Into sliders.
Yeah.
Ray and Rickman, is he on the level of Logan St. Clair?
I mean, I feel the same way because I guess I had a lot of I said, one, how did you discover the needle is how you like how if you're bacteria, but I'm okay with that. But also I was like, well, now the show feels the whole premise of this arc, this 2-part arc feels very inverted because why would I not want more than 140 people? Like, why would I? And I think it kept getting convoluted with like, Wade, come up with a list of 140 people who are like the top of the ladder. And I'm like, okay, maybe to restart society. But then it's like, I'm sucking the brain matter from these people. Okay, fine. But why does it matter? Like their intelligence, there was never like, as long as they're smart, I can last for 2 weeks. It was just, I'm like, we'll just get everybody then. So the whole thing was just like very weird. And to your earlier point, I thought it was an alien invasion where it's like, because they had those 10 extra people who were in the coma. I was like, well, are you then putting them back in their own body once it was too much sciencey and not enough like kind of hard magic. Like this is what it is. And that article to me wasn't enough because I was also like, has he lived 100? Like what is the time frame and what is the significance? Like the people go into a coma when he does this thing, but so what? I'm like, but the world is also ending, and you have slider technology. Like the whole thing it fell apart when he was revealed as the villain, as because if he had just been an evil asshole, that would have been fine. And then even have him be the one to have been stuck and like, oh, now I got to fight. Even though I'm the bad guy, I have to fight it just fell apart once he became. I was like, this is stupid. It was fun, but this was stupid.
It's just goofy.
Yeah.
There. I think, like I said, it falls apart. Like I said, definitely the more you think about it. But I also don't like how, you know, and we have been asking for something different as far as like the plot or the story, but it becomes this like chase. This now becomes a chase show in addition to being mixed. And also even though the sliders have dropped bodies, like in multiple worlds, they don't actively go into these worlds ready to kill. So like now you have this thing of like, let's bring this guy to justice. And Maggie's like, no, revenge. I can't remember the exact line or whatever. But it's so I don't like that is what he exemplifies, or that's the route that he takes the show with, you know, now being the one who has, you know, done this wrong to them. And the slavery shit was wild. Like even Maggie was just like, Maggie was like, yo, he's like, yo, let's start building pins. That part I had forgotten about. And it's the other thing that I'm like, you got black people. There were a lot of black soldiers there. So like, are they just about to chill with this? speaking of I hate to mention like that part. What about this scene where Quinn and Maggie? Let's actually tie in. Quinn, Maggie, and Dr. Jensen. That scene where they were watching the mating rituals of the
Yes. Perfect scene. No notes. That Quinn's watching. Maggie's like, the timer's about to go. No. Just a few more minutes.
Crazy.
Science. Science.
It was gross. It was fucking gross.
Mhm.
Any thoughts? And actually, no. And also, I did like the reveal that Dr. Jensen was like, "I ain't stupid." It's like, I am not stupid. Like, Ray, what about that scene that you he started clapping back at Quinn?
I loved it, of course. One, I think we spent too much time with the mating ritual, establish that that's what they're doing, and then let's go. Why are we recording this? Okay. Also wait, to that point when they were hopping through worlds and she was recording, I was like, what is the fucking point? Our world is about to end in like an hour. We don't have time to sit down and watch footage and be like, oh, this is a good world. Like, okay. But yeah, I do like that he was like, yeah, I can sense that something is off. And he's like, whoa, you better talk to your girl. No, she's about to die. She's like in the hospital. I'm talking to you. And I am one who's normally like, no, talk to your partner because clearly but it's like, no, actually, we're both responsible for each other. Was it Steve? Science is Steve and Quinn, because I have the coordinates to get you home, but you have the technology to enhance our timer. So no, motherfucker, I'm about to talk to you. I see what's going on. Oh no, you need to talk to your girl. I would have ran into his fucking legs as hard as I could, and I would have just because now we got to fight. We have to fight. I don't care. I don't care who she chooses. We have to fight. So,
yeah, I think Quinn needed to get decked again by Steve.
Yeah. And I think for the nice guy to just get shot to death, and that's it. Yeah, to get shot to death, and his body left on the planet to just explode, was like the final insult.
Yes.
Was like the final insult. So I don't know. And Malcolm is traumatized for the rest of his fucking life.
This was so traumatic. Like, I would honestly love to see these two episodes redone. It don't have to be sliders. Just take this and put the severity that it needs, because Malcolm is traumatized. I would like to see Maggie actually have some emotion behind her husband die. Oh, revenge for what? for who? For your brother, your cousin that wasn't your husband? Like, the whole thing was just like this, and it did feel like Rickman was supposed to be maybe a more supernatural being. And I think if they had just fully committed to that, like he was bitten by a radioactive vampire in the Gulf War, like do that. But yeah, Malcolm, that brother,
he needs several hugs. I think the other thing that gets to me is that I don't know if he knows anybody. I mean, he knows the soldiers that are there, but who is taking care of him?
No one.
Like no one. So I don't know. Were there any other things that kind of stood out to you? I mean, to y'all about the second part?
When we do get to the other planet, and as you're talking about, everyone's going to slide away. The colonel's going to be gone, so there'll be 145 people left. Malcolm is going to have nobody. The natives are there. They have an uncertain relationship, right? Like, are you going to be able to communicate with them? And y'all figure that out. Hopefully, you got enough bullets. The other thing is that in the episode where they go back to Earth Prime and it kills or nearly kills Maggie. So we get here, we have not tested out the food or the water or nothing. It's like, if the air can be very bad for you, what are you going to find here? Like, this would have been a great one in season 4 to come back and like, there's 4 people left alive. It didn't turn out this was the right planet. Would have been better off with the giant rabbits.
Yeah.
Or anybody else? Any other thoughts about the episode or anything that stands out?
I thought there was the moment where they're going through the files in that big room. And it's like they just left these boxes, but like, why are they even packing up paperwork in the first place? Like, it was so absurd that, again, I feel like Rain, you hit it on the head though. I want like a redo of these episodes where we have the emotional moments, we give them enough time, but we also like thread in some things where like and again, you set up Maggie in these episodes. We know once she joins the team, like I know it's going to be a lot of like sexual tension with her and Quinn. It doesn't have to be in this episode or these episodes. It absolutely didn't need to be. And in fact, like that would then lead you to, okay, she's lost her husband. She's like completely focused on killing this guy. Like to me, that's like a PTSD coping thing. Like you could get into, like, there's a lot of things. I think at the core why I like sliders in general, because there's ways to like do things. Whether they do them the way I want them to do is a different thing, but there's so many possibilities with how you would take the story this way. The unfortunate thing is I think in some cases they're going to not take it that way. They're just going to be like, well, now they can be together because the husband's gone. And it's like, I guess like what? And again, what about Wade? Like, is that a thing? Was it a thing? I don't know.
There's a real question here. When they get to the next world, if there's another attractive girl, he's got to push the existing to the side, right? That shirt isn't going to stay on forever.
New is always better, Egg. New is always better.
Well, I'm surprised that when they get to the world where they all pose, strategic, just like pose for the camera as like action movie stars. I'm surprised Quinn didn't check the body and say, "Is that a hot woman?" I was like, "Oh." One thing I did want to point out was the scene, and this ties into Rickman's evil nature. When he got the call, the soldiers like they're rushing the gate, sir. What should we do? And he's like, fire at will. And so, and then I think the guy says, God have mercy on our souls. And so, because this is a PG show, they don't show the gunshots. But then the other thing is when they show the bodies, there's no bullet holes, there's no blood. And then also where they have a second scene of people rushing the gate again, it's the same extras.
It's just another shot that they had done. It was amazing. Why didn't they use the gateway technology that knocked Remy out in episode 1 on the gates there? As opposed to just dudes. I'm like, that stuff stops you from getting out. I mean, like, why not use the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, they could have at least electrified the fence.
Something.
Why do you feel that they did electrify that one? Like, that way. He gets zapped. I'm like, huh? Like, that, surely they were going to come back. That's going to be something, right?
They never heard of Chekhov's gun or Chekhov's electric fence or anything. Like, they're just like, we're going to throw stuff out, and it's going to be the mystery box that never gets reopened.
It's like they're not going to keep up with this shit. But the other thing I noticed was this is the second. That was the second episode where when we have you guys on the show, Remy gets electrocuted or shocked. You remember in the Corey Feldman episode, he got struck by lightning in his chest. And I was just like, wow, this is, when y'all come back, it'll be the same thing. So as far as superlatives, let's start with John. Who's your favorite? It's favorite and least favorite character.
Favorite is Remy this episode. Like,
okay.
Dead on. Just, I mean, like I said, that scene where he goes after Quinn is like probably top 5 to 10 overall to me. Like, just character moment, pure character moment. And then probably least favorite is while I do like aspects of Rickman, I think that like the reveals here are a bit of a letdown, like what it could be, whether it was a supernatural thing or there just need to be a little bit more with him to why he's doing it, why we've accelerated this. Like you said, why wouldn't you be pushing it the other way to be like 400 people or 500?
Yeah.
Can we do, and then have the Steve go, I don't know that we want to do that, and then there could be an argument with Arturo, and it's like, well, we could try to say, that would have been another interesting little moment with everybody, and it would give Arturo some more things to do in an episode where he had about 4 lines, it felt like. So,
right.
Yeah. Egg, how about you? Least favorite character?
My favorite was definitely the professor, for all the emotion that he gave when he died. Like, I'm dead. Oh. Like, it was amazing. Oscar. Like, I've never seen someone so checked out at a job. It's like layoffs has happened, but I've still got 6 more months. So guess what I'm not going to be doing? Working.
That budget is good.
Right.
So that part was amazing to me. Like, honestly, working in corporate America, I felt everything. It was just like, I cannot be bothered. It's the death scene. So that was definitely my favorite. My least favorite was the bullet. I felt it was lazy. He could have tried harder.
That's fair.
Now, my least favorite, honestly, because if I'm being serious about this, Remy and Wade having the confrontation with Quinn, I felt that everyone's really delivering because, and I'm going to say something odd, I really feel like it's Jerry O'Connell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Jerry O'Connell, he's got to deliver these lines where it's like, there's no way you can't know you're a dick.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's no way that you read this stuff and you're like, I'm saying what? Okay. And he's got to deliver these lines that get everyone pumped enough to, he's going to get clocked.
Mm-hmm.
And for a guy that routinely, based on what Rain says, takes off his shirt, therefore he feels he's the lead. For a guy to go, okay, well, I'm going to go the villain route where, I'm going to get it and I'm going to deserve it.
Yeah.
That is work that you don't normally have from your lead actor in this era.
Yeah.
So I did think that was a good bit of work on his part. I still liked the other side of that argument much better. What Remy was doing was really good because him being angry, and I'm like, I feel this.
Yeah. So I think favorite character for me is also the professor, pouring out liquor for my lobotomized, shot up, body blown up, argumentative, pompous brother from another mother. So it's my favorite. Least favorite were the writers of this episode. I'm being real. I'm sorry. Once again, if you read the behind the scenes information about kind of what happened, this was some BS. So, and Rain, favorite and least favorite character?
My favorite was probably Quinn.
It hurts. It hurts him though.
I honestly, I would say Remy, but I would say Remy and Quinn because even I think after, especially listening to you, Egg, I don't like him at all, but I do think there is a bit of I have to commit to this. He is the asshole. He is the one who I feel like is the villain. He does the stupid, silly stuff. But even with not knowing the behind the scenes in this moment, because I haven't looked into it yet, I do think there is a bit of if you remove these aspects of Quinn that makes me hate him, you don't really have this show. You still have a Sliders show, but you don't have this show because we do need you to be like, no, we got to save these people. It's like, no, motherfucker, we got to go home because if we do just go home, then the show is done. I mean, of course, you can keep it going because some other stuff, but I do think for this episode and this one alone, I would want to have Quinn and Remy share the favorite to me because that scene was also done well enough that even Quinn being like, well, you always tell me I'm terrible. Like that, I don't think you get Remy's performance without this silly, stupid shit. So I'm going to give Quinn this and give them a co-favorite and then have the least favorite. I'm going to default to you, Robert, and say the writers because a lot of things could have gone better or been done better than they have. And again, you switched out this older, heavier man who you don't get that representation in the 90s unless more times than not it's to be the butt of the jokes.
Yeah.
And so you had this science-focused man who was, albeit he was British, so that probably had something to do with it, but he was like a serious character, and you just, okay, let's get a pretty skinny girl. So yeah, I'd have to say the writers too. I'm gonna double up on that. Yeah.
Okay. And favorite, and we'll go wrap around. Favorite and least favorite moment for Rain.
Oh, for me, favorite least favorite moment. Least favorite was that weird funeral. I was like, what is this? Y'all get this out of here. Ooh, anybody want to speak? Sure, Quinn. Let's somebody, not us three, but somebody. The flowers, let them speak. My favorite, shit. I honestly, yeah, I don't know, man. This is very bad. Like maybe that whole this is bad. I didn't like what happened in the scene, but the scene where like the vampire put the blood in his neck, and then it goes Steve, who's like, "Hey, man, I found out this like he killed him, and then he traumatized me." Because that whole like minute of scene was like so weird. Like he turns, he's a older white man, but he turns and it's like this black person's face, and then you should like that had to be chaotic for everybody involved. So that's probably my favorite. It's like, what the hell is going on here? This is crazy. So yeah.
Okay, so for me, my favorite moment, I don't have one. I'm just being weird. Like, I mean, being real, I don't have one for this episode. Least favorite was the professor's plight. Once again, brain sucked out, shot, then blown up, and then his final words, sliders, which was amazing. So yeah, that was at least favorite. Egg, how about you? Favorite and least favorite moment?
The fight was my favorite. Like,
favorite.
Remy and Quinn and Wade. That was my favorite because there was, it was the only time that because I was on my computer, doing second screen stuff. And that was the only time like, oh, okay, something's going on here. So that was definitely my favorite moment. Because even when the professor got shot, like I think that I had to actually back it up. Like, wait, did he die? Oh, okay. Huh. Well, cool. My least favorite was the line. Y'all remember the line where like, let's go over the people that are going to jump. Okay, and I'm sitting there like, do we have time in this episode to fucking show people in a fucking line? And go, you shouldn't be here,
Yeah.
Don't stop him. Can I go hunt for my husband? No, I'll go hunt for him. I'm just like, what? This wasn't something we could cut.
No, they couldn't.
This was all integral information.
And John, how about you? Favorite, least favorite moments?
I mean, I have said it multiple times. It's the Remy Quinn interaction is the favorite. The least favorite, though, it just occurred to me because we didn't really talk about this, but when they go to the new world and they're going to track Rickman down, and it's just Quinn and Maggie, and they split up, first of all. So I was like, that's something. And then he gets the drop on him, and it's like listen, you spent 2 episodes now showing me that she's supposed to be a badass. Like she's a military brat. She's a captain or whatever in the military. And like, she's just a damsel in distress here at the last minute. Like, you can't have it both ways. You really can't. You can't have her. She can be the badass. That's fine and great. And that's something maybe we need. But like, you can't then have it where, oh, and now we get an argument between her and Quinn about like, well, you got to take the shot. It's like, oh my God, really? Like, that's what we're going to argue about at this minute? That scene just like, again, hadn't remembered that stuff. And then I'm just like, oh, this is so poorly done. Like, guys, what are y'all trying to prove here? Like, you didn't need it to go down like that. It could have 1,000 other ways where, like, I kind of think about it like wrestling. Like, you want to put the villain over, but let's not make the hero look weak here. Right. He can cheat to win. That's okay. Yeah. But like, you can't just like get her from behind, and now I've got you. And
Yeah.
it's like, no, thank you.
So with that all said, out of 10 slowly moving lobotomized professors, what would you rate this episode? John, let's start with you.
I don't know, a shuffling amount of like a 2.5.
2.5.
Like I just think there's so many missed opportunities with this episode. And I know some of the, although I'm going to need to go back and reread a lot of it, but I do know a lot of the background stuff, and so that is coloring it as well. And I really should have made my least favorite to be the writers to hang in with y'all, but maybe a 2.5 might be generous. I mean, I think the Remy Quinn scene is 2.5 of the 2.5. Okay, so.
That's a first. That's a first in stumbling through the multiverse history. Egg, how about you?
Again, when I rated the last episode, it was based on how bad this episode was. And like as I thought about it, I'm like, I'm giving like that extra 0.1 that first episode deserved. This one's just bad. Like, I don't know. I liked some of the scenes, but I mean, there was just a lot of bad. I don't know if I go 2.5. I feel that's pretty high, but you
said 2.
Well, it was a middling episode, 3 or 4, something like that. 4 slowly ambling, dying professors.
So 4. Let's go 4. Okay, gotcha. I'm just gonna go 5.0. This is not one of my favorites. And Brain, how about you?
4.
4. Okay.
Not at 4. And that's It once I realized the professor was gone for real, it tanked a lot. And I think you're right. I think the Quinn Remy argument is doing a lot of heavy lifting in this episode. If that had appeared in episode 1, this would have been a solid 1. Because the professor, that ending was trash. Sucks.
So on that happy note, we will definitely be back the week after the next with this new era of sliders. And all I can tell people who are watching and listening to this, just do some homework about the background shenanigans. It might give you more insight into the two-parter and what led up to this, these 2 parts. So, John and Egg, thank y'all for joining us. Ready for this penultimate 2 parts. I wanted to give you both time to, a chance to, give your social media where people can, buy the books and all that. So we'll start with John first. How about you?
Yeah, so you can find me at johnrmcguire.com. And in about a month from now, I'm going to be launching a Kickstarter for a new comic book series called You Must Be This Tall to Ride. It's kind of my YA idea about a family who inherits an amusement park that actually each of the little sections have portals to other worlds. And so one of them gets lost. And so they've got to go find their younger brother / cousin, according to which, and the names I'm using for each of the kids are based off my nephews and nieces or my niece. So, so that'll be launching here in about the next month or so.
Awesome. And Nick?
John, do you have the ticket?
I don't have it handy. No, that would have been a good idea.
You're fired. So John is launching this awesome Kickstarter comic book, and it's amazing sounding. And he's made tickets for it, right? It's a theme park. Theme parks have tickets. So he's made a ticket, not a golden ticket, but still a ticket. And he gave me one. I'm like, this is amazing. This is a good idea. Don't show it to anybody else.
No, I would never show it.
And
No, I'll have copies of that when we're at the Atlanta Sci-Fi Con and some of the couple other things. So
that's awesome.
As for my part, social media, I'm Egg Embry. I write for Ian World, ianworld.org. It is an RPG website. I also write for Knights of the Dinner Table, which is a comic book magazine that deals with tabletop role-playing games. I love tabletop role-playing games. More importantly, check out John's Kickstarter. You go look for John R. McGuire, because there's not a million John McGuires when you're searching. Okay. If it's got to look like the guy in that corner over there. Him.
This face.
And for yours truly, I will be at a convention this weekend called Virtuous Con. It is not a conservative Christian convention. It is a it's a virtuous con. It is a digital or virtual convention focused on geek culture, just geek culture all around. PLCs, women. Just it's a really awesome convention, and I will be at my computer, selling books, and so you can visit a virtual artist alley, go to panels. I know Aldous Hodge is going to be there. David Walker, Noni, the voice actress from the Frog Princess. I think it's Noni.
Rose.
Rose. And just a bunch of really awesome, talented creators, including yours truly. But I'll be there on the Saturday and Sunday, and that will be the 21st and the 22nd. So definitely, get some tickets, and you can do this all from the comfort of your home. And I think also, in your tablet. So, but yeah, I will be at VirtuousCon, virtuouscon.com. And in March, I need dates to remember. I will be tabling with or vending with John McGuire, or John McGuire, like you aren't here, like with John. And that will be the weekend of I think it's the 13th and the
13th, 14th, or 14th, 15th. Something.
Yeah, 14th, 15th. So it's a little bit further out. So yeah, two conventions. Excited about
Where's
both.
The second convention at?
What was that?
Where's the second convention at?
It is, that would be helpful. That's going to be in Atlanta at North Lake Mall, and the website for search for the Atlanta Science Fiction and Fantasy Expo, but ASFE for short. But yeah, that'll be in Atlanta, Metro Atlanta area at North Lake Mall.
It's free. It's a free convention.
It is free.
So
yeah,
you can just show up. So.
And that's the place where we did the sliders panel for last year. I don't know if we're doing it this year, but yeah. So, and you can find me at Instagram, robertk.jeffrey, and my website is robertkjffrey.com. So, Rain, how about you? Rain is writing like 500 books at one time. Like he's like all the damn books.
Yeah, I'm right. I have a fan fiction series about Quinn Mallory. No,
I listen. I want every episode in my inbox, and it will be the first thing I read that day. 100%.
Oh my god! Yeah,
his villainous journey.
Oh my god, I would actually. I think I might have to do something adjacent to it. But yeah, no, I'm raincoleman.com. This is kind of sort of nerd adjacent, kind of sort of not. I am a author right now. I'm in my contemporary love story era. So I have quite a few books. My latest one, No Lover to Offend, has come out on Valentine's Day. And to also keep in theme with the March 14th, the second part of that book will be released as well. So that's on raincoleman.com or Amazon. I know everyone is not a fan of the Amazon, so check it out there. Yeah, that's me. That's all I do is write and podcast. And John and Egg, I'm so happy that you guys have come on. I'll try to make sure I link. Of course, and come back anytime. Yeah. I try to make sure I have everything linked below so that listeners and viewers, you guys can go and figure all this out and figure out how you can support and what you can support and what you can share and all that good stuff, because this has been a ride. And this is the second time with 4 sliders, so we appreciate you. And I don't know, man. Stay carefree, stay nerdy, stay geeky, and if you hate your elder male family member, just replace them with a pretty young girl. Even if it's your grandfather, just replace them with a lady. I don't know.
That is the advice. That is the advice. Like, that was the 11th commandment right there.
Yes, indeed. But no, it has been a pleasure to slide with y'all, and good luck at everything you do. And all that.
Thank y'all.
Thanks for having us. See y'all next time.
See you next time.